Have you ever heard that you need to get bigger, faster, and stronger, and you only focus on the strength side of things, but now you have lost your athleticism? Well, let me try to explain in this video what you should do and how you should approach things. My name is Justin Miller. I am the owner of Legends of Athletics. I have been in the sports performance industry for 9 years, and I have my bachelor's of science degree in kinesiology with a minor in psychology. And so, many athletes, let's jump right in. Many athletes have been told by coaches that they need to get bigger, faster, and stronger in the offseason, but they don't know really where to start, how to go about it, how to navigate it. And then you end up just focusing too much on one side of things and losing the things that made you great on the other side. So for high school athletes, I will target you guys in this video. You have plenty of time to get strong. When I was in high school, when I was in 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, I was decently strong, but I was nowhere near as strong as I have become as an adult. And so with time, you're naturally going to get stronger. This is why I see some people in the sports performance space that focus a lot on strength, especially for high school athletes and under, that only focus on that. It kind of rubs me wrong because though you can be training the technique, you really don't have to focus solely on that thing. Now, not to sound contradictory, in a space of teaching you technique and things that are going to help you with injury prevention and keep you healthy and on the field, those things I do agree with. And the aspect of strength is going to make you this better and grand overall athlete, that no one will be able to stop you. That's the part that we kind of we get in murky waters about, because you do need to get stronger, but you will get stronger naturally as you go through your sport. What you should never do is focus so much on strength that you lose the athleticism that made you great to start with. What I mean by that is you get a lot of people who go in and they preach and teach weights, 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 or the athlete focuses on weights only. And so what that athlete becomes is blocky and less athletic from one season to the next. Yes, you got stronger, but you lost explosiveness, you lost shiftiness, and you lost your ability to just move athletically overall. You see this with kids time and time again. They may go from 180 pounds to 200 pounds, and the things that made them great are no longer there as they gain weight. And this is where a great coach, not necessarily saying a sports performance coach, but a great coach comes into play, because you're going to get stronger, but we're going to keep those things and build on those things that made you great as we progress through this process. I think the thing that makes me a great sports performance coach, to toot my own horn for a second, is one, I know what it's like to be there, and two, I'm going to understand you as an athlete as we navigate this process. I'm going to use myself for example, and I'm going to go into a little story time about myself. So in ninth grade, going from ninth grade to 10th grade, one of the things that I was able to do in ninth grade was move up and play at the varsity level. Once the ninth grade season was over with, I was one of the few that was asked to go up and play with our varsity team as a ninth grader. Now, as a ninth grader, I was decently strong. I had pretty good athleticism, but I was preached and coached to get bigger and gain size. And so I did everything in my power to do those things. Now, I went from being 200 pounds in ninth grade to I gained 210. I think I was 210, 215 my sophomore year. Now, that was not a bad size per se, but the way that I done it was horrible, by basically eating any and everything and then supplementing to help me gain even more size. The reason I know that that was too much on my body at that time is because as I gained size, I started racking up a lot of small injuries, soft tissue injuries, and injuries that were non-contact. I hurt my hip flexor. I had a strained hamstring, shoulder. These are things that I was not hitting or getting hit, and I was just straining myself to get and garner this goal, and all in the process sidelining myself as well. Now, at that time, just like with anybody else, I was not in a position to say, well, I'm going to tell the coach that I'm injured and take this time off, because you got a man sitting behind you that's ready to take your spot at any time. And anybody that's played team sports knows that if you are injured and the person that comes in to take your spot does or exceeds the expectation and does better than you, your spot by the time that you get back to the team is no longer there. So you're back to ground zero. But when I gained that weight, I was not the same athlete from then throughout my career. And I only got bigger. You're naturally going to get bigger with no supplements. You're naturally going to get bigger over time. That's, for most people, is the natural circle of life. Now, if you are a hard gainer, then there are things you can do. But whenever you get to the collegiate level, those coaches will make and mold you into whoever they want you to be, because you will have a nutritionist, you'll have a strength coach, and you'll be able to put the whole thing together to be a more complete athlete, where you don't have to do all those things and figure out all those things on your own. And so anyway, as I moved throughout that, like I said, I gained more weight, and the more weight I gained, the more I kind of felt it then, but I was unable to identify it. Like, I just was not the same athlete. I was not able to move as fluidly. I was not able to do a lot of the things that made me great at the sport before then, at the level that I did previously. I was still pretty good. I would say I was about average to above average in some areas, but I would probably classify myself as about an average athlete. But I just noticed those things, and so those are things that I try not to do, even with players. Like basketball, for instance, that's a sport where we need to get bigger. And a lot of guys come to me and say, I need to get some size in order to be recruited. I need to pack on some muscle this off season. And I always try to go in increments of 10. 10 pounds is the absolute most that I would ever try to attempt to put on a player from one season to the next. And that's going to be a slow go process. That's like 3 pounds a month, maybe 4 pounds a month, somewhere in there. We're not going at it aggressively in high school, because again, we have time. We're growing up, but we're not growing out. So to put the pressure on you to be massive and filled out at that point is kind of pointless, to be real. But I know people make their money on that, so hey, get your money, make your money. I'm gonna just tell y'all this: whenever it comes to sports performance, you get what you pay for. Getting back on point, you want to make that process as slow as possible. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Are there people who take performance enhancing drugs? There are. In every sport, in every facet of life, there are going to be people who try to beat the system, try to cheat the system, but eventually you usually get caught. But again, even in that aspect and regard, it's best that you take your time, because you're altering your natural state. But personally, like I said, for me, with most athletes, no more than 10 pounds in a year. And just with strength, just as you learn the technique, you will get stronger. But we also will only get so big due to genetics. And you also, like, you have a strength predisposition as well due to genetics. Now, what a coach tries to do is to get you to exceed what your genetic potential is. But even in that, I will never be as strong as Ronnie Coleman. I will never be as strong as one of these world's strongest men guys. And that is okay. You have to love what you bring to the table and love yourself. Love your game. We live in such a competitive society. Yes, one thing to compete on the field, but you got to love what you bring off the field and love what you're able to do from season to season, and how that's translating into you being a better athlete. That's translating into better outcomes, and that's translating into better positions for you, because you're going to be more comfortable with yourself when you are yourself versus when you're trying to be someone else or you're trying to play someone else's game. And so I hope that this video was informative to help you. If you guys would like some resources, we have some on legendsofathletics.com. We also have online training on legendsofathletics.com Of course, we do have online sports performance like one-on-one training, but we also have an online community available with workouts, with mobility videos, with other videos that people we usually get stuck on just the strength aspect of things, but other videos as well. And you can join that for $40 a month. We will be happy to have you and grow the community because there are a lot of messages out here, and I would say that I give you guys a ton of free content, and so I just ask that if you want that you just pay the fee and and join the family. But in all seriousness, it's about helping y'all in the best way as possible, and then just creating the best athletes possible. Man, there's a lot of people out here scamming, a lot of people out here just doing it for the money, but at the end of the day, it's about who you create and who you can become in the process. That's what sports is all about, being your best self, going above being your best self, and then always looking for the next challenge. So if you like the video, don't forget to comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. If you have any stories you'd like to share, to next time, be legendary.